sound. I can lift you up. I can show you what you want to see and take you where you want to be. You could be my love. Even if the sky is falling down, I know that we'll be safe and sound. We're 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 safe and sound.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Heart of Hampton. I'm Richard Parison, Artistic Director of the American Theater and the Charles H. Taylor Visual Arts Center. And today we are excited to welcome you as we celebrate the tapestry of fine and visual arts throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia with the 2021 Virginia Artist Virtual Awards Ceremony. This afternoon's special awards ceremony will not only give you a peek into the exhibition currently on display at the Visual Arts Center, but will spotlight several awards honoring a number of our entries. We'll be announcing cash awards today, and we will hear from those winning artists along with comments and a visit from our juror, Steve Prince. But before we begin our festivities, we want to share some of the exciting things that are happening at the Visual Arts Center. Along with the Visual Artists exhibition, we have a spotlight solo exhibition by Sandy Curran, Emotional Cloth. To talk more about the Visual Arts Center and our exhibitions currently on display, please welcome Jennifer Morningstar, our manager of the Visual Arts Center. Hi, Jenny.
Hello, Richard. Thank you.
We're so glad you could join us. So tell everybody a little bit more about Virginia Artists and what's going on at the center since we reopened in July.
Well, we had the Small Works exhibition, which was phenomenal, and that came down. And then the highlight, of course, of the year is always this show, the Virginia Artists exhibition. We have a fantastic juror this year, Steve Prince, as you mentioned. And there are 108 works in the show that was brought down. There were 500 pieces that were submitted, actually. So it was quite the challenge to get those works to that number. But as you can see, there are some spectacular pieces in the show. All ranges, from belted pieces to paintings and ceramics and everything in between. And so the next show coming up is the Hampton Art League member exhibition. That will open after the holidays in January, late January. And we also hope to have our classes back in the winter session. So we're looking forward to that. It's been a long time.
Yes, it has been a long time, and the amount of work that you all have done in the global pandemic with our visual arts community and local artist family has been amazing. So, well, thank you, Jenny, and you lead an amazing team there, and we'll see you back shortly.
Okay, thank you.
So Jenny does lead an amazing team at the Charles Taylor Visual Arts Center, and we are so excited to have reopened this summer and to be continuing our season with this amazing exhibition. And as Jenny said, we'll be continuing with the Hampton Arts League exhibition and many others between now and June 2022. You can look at all of this information at our website, which is the charlestaylorvisualarts.org. This exhibition is open to the public at the Visual Arts Center through December 18, Tuesdays through Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. based on COVID protocols. And as always, it is free to the public. For more information, you can always call the Visual Arts Center at 757-727-1490. So, before we get to our awards, let's take a look at the solo exhibition from last year's Virginia Artists Exhibition Best in Show Award winner, Sandy Curran. This amazing solo exhibition called Emotional Cloth is a brilliant and exciting quilt installation. Sandy writes in her artist statement, quote, "Like many quilt artists, I began with very traditional work, hand applique and hand quilting. I soon felt the need to make my own patterns, colors, and techniques. With no formal training in art, I gradually found myself using this craft to express my unfulfilled desire to create," end quote. You will see in this panoramic video of her exhibition that we are glad she fulfilled that desire and created. Take a look. The vibrancy, the color, those are quilts. Amazing talent. So congratulations, Sandy. And I know that you will not be disappointed when you see this amazing artwork up close and personal. So right now, we have the most exciting part of the day, our awards ceremony. So once again, we're going to bring in Jenny Morningstar, our Visual Arts Center manager, Ellie Kincaid, our assistant Visual Arts Center manager, to talk a little bit more about Virginia Artists 2021 and also to introduce our amazing and talented juror for this exhibition, Steve Prince. Welcome back, all. Well, I see two of you now. Where's Steve Prince?
Come on in.
Hi, Steve. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So I will leave it to Ellie and Jenny to talk a little bit more about the awards and the entries, and then we're going to get to the fun part of the day, our awards. So I will see you in just a few moments.
Well, I want to introduce our amazing juror and judge, Steve Prince. He's the director of engagement at the Muscarella Museum and the artist, distinguished artist in residence there as well. He's a teacher, an artist, a spiritual man. He has deep roots. He comes from Louisiana, and we are just so proud to have him here. I also want to thank, though, our volunteers who helped us get this show up: John Whalen, Melody Avery, William Hayes, Bill Pinkham. Am I missing someone?
Yes, Chris.
Oh, and Chris Kovac.
Yes, Kovac.
Yes, Chris Kovac. And then, of course, Ellie and Cody, who's here manning our camera. Before I turn this over, and I think I'm going to go ahead and let Steve read his juror statement if we're at that place. I think Richard, we're there. Yeah, so welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Take your
This is the part we always. This is the part we always look forward, Steve. The juror statement.
Absolutely. It is both a privilege and honor to be able to serve as this year's juror. And I prepared a statement, and the statement that I prepared, I was hoping that it would be one that, of course, can speak to the times, but also speak directly to the rubric that I came up with in picking the various works for this exhibition. So without further ado, I would love to share my statement. 2020 is a year that will live in infamy. It was a year filled with uncertainty and epic challenges. The world was trapped in the clutches of the COVID-19 pandemic. We heard the amplified global cry for racial justice and police reform. Wildfires ravaged acres of land in the West, but conversely, scientists internationally raced to find a cure to the virus. And we bore witness to history as a woman was selected to be on a major party's presidential ticket. 2021 began with an unprecedented riot and siege of the US Capitol. And we were able to exhale just a little when the pandemic numbers subsided. All the while, the artists created beauty in the face of these horrific challenges. In fact, the artist's practice was hampered very, very little during the pandemic because, for a large part, the artist's studio is a solemn, sacred, and oft-times solitary space. The global pause caused us to reflect upon what is important and dear. The need for art to help us wade through the mounting mental health concerns is more dire than ever. Even though this was a difficult and challenging task to select works to be included in the show, and secondly, choosing works to receive awards, I entreated the opportunity to bear witness to the exquisite creativity and imagination of these artists as part of the 2021 Virginia Artists Juried Exhibition. I developed a rubric, a criterion to judge the artwork. I evaluated the work through three components: craftsmanship, technical skill, and imagination. I carefully sifted through the works, looking to see how the artists utilize the universal elements and principles of design in imaginative ways. I looked for work that harnessed those criteria and that moved me. I was captivated by the carefully crafted compositions, the expressive calligraphic, painterly abstractive marks upon canvas, panel, and page alike, by the delicate colors inventively layered and juxtaposed to stimulate the senses, the perceived and actual textures, adorning sculptural forms, the subtle and sometimes arresting narrative statements about the human condition, and by the control and technical precision over media like a seasoned physician. I understand the elation one feels when their work is accepted, and I understand the letdown one feels when it is not. What I believe is imperative, especially in this moment and moving forward, is that the artist must create by any means necessary. The artist is a soothsayer, a diviner of sorts, that has the unique and sacred ability to harness the elements around them in splendid formations. This process is not confined by museum or gallery walls. It is a process that originates in a heart and an earnest desire to make sense of the chaos. The artist is a healer in troubled times, and they help us to remember to remember. I encourage you, us, to keep creating, making, questioning, seeking, discerning, and giving the sometimes confused, uncertain, and troubled world something beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. I mean, you really do embody exactly what we believe both at the Visual Arts Center and the American Theater, that art, both visual and performing, reflects who we are as individuals and as a society and humanity. And we are so thrilled that you are part of our department and have joined us for this. So thank you so much for your work, and we really do appreciate it. And we'll be back in touch with you shortly as we continue our journey in this awards ceremony.
Indeed.
All right, we'll see you soon. So it's an amazing, to hear Steve talk about his statement as a juror and why each of these artists was selected. So now we end the suspense and we celebrate the work and the artists. And we will start with our honorable mentions, our honorable mention awards for the Virginia Artists 2021. Jim Dees, Family Tree. Cliff Guard, Mahogany Spiral Finial Vessel. Johnny Hayes, High School Reunion. Clayton Singleton, Wait, What? Benford Stelmacher, Liberty and Justice. Congratulations to all of our honorable mentions. Amazing work and amazing artists. And now we begin our awards for the 2021 Virginia Artists Exhibition. We will start with the Award of Distinction for Sculpture. And the Award of Distinction for Sculpture goes to Gudrun Keel Bullock. Hello, Gudrun. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Congratulations.
This is exciting. Thank you.
Oh, we are so excited. So we'll look at a slide of your work, and then look at this amazing Lottie's Cardinal. And I have seen this live at the Visual Arts Center, and it is just exquisite. So we are going to go live to the Visual Arts Center and have Steve talk about the reason that he chose this.
Hello. It's so
Hi.
wonderful. It's so wonderful to meet the artist, the maker of this work. This piece, it stood out to me, as many pieces in this exhibition stood out to me when I actually saw them live, and how much they basically just spoke to this moment and this time. And one thing that stood out to me about this piece was, it was just the beautiful elegance of this elderly woman holding this bird in her hand. And it was something very personal about it, that there was the sculpture in my heart became real. I love just the careful detail that was rendered in the making of it, and the shaping of the forms, the understanding of the cross-contoured marks, the utilization of different textures and the rendering of the clothing upon the body, but the skin-like features in terms of the softness of the wool adorning the body, and just the delicate little ways in which the hair speaks off the head, very much like a human being. But there was just something very poetic and something very simple about the piece that just captivated my heart. And I just can't wait for other people to see it, and I'm sure they will be captivated as well.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my sculpture started out, I just wanted to challenge myself to do an older lady, but as I was putting on the sweater, she reminded me of my mother, and my dad carved birds, and he had carved her a cardinal. And that's kind of how it ended up. That's why I was named Lottie's Cardinal.
Oh, beautiful. And and also the other thing that stood out to me too is that in this moment that we're in the pandemic, just how challenging has been for the elderly as well.
Mhm.
and that we lost so many of our griots, so many of our storytellers, and so many of the rich
Right.
people that have graced this planet. And it's just, again, it's a reminder for us to continue to pay homage, to continue to lift up, to continue to remember these very key and dear people in our lives. And I'm so thankful for you giving us the other texture to this story.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the award.
Thank you,
Indeed.
Gudrun.
Really.
Thank you so much. Steve, thank you. Congratulations again. And thank you, Gudrun.
Thank you.
It's an amazing thing. And as Steve said, yes, our artists are all griots. Our artists are all storytellers. So thank you again and congratulations, Gudrun. So our next award is the Award of Distinction for Photography. And our Award of Distinction for Photography goes to Glenn McClure. Congratulations, Glenn.
Thank you very much. Very happy. This is surprising news.
You're very welcome. Let's take a look at your work on the slide. Serpent Rock, County is it Sligo, Ireland?
Sligo.
Sligo, Ireland. Amazing. Yep. I'm a huge fan of your work, Glenn. As you know, I have a piece of your work in my home from your exhibition that we did a few years ago. And I'm just so glad to be able to congratulate you for this award of distinction. But let's bring in Steve Prince to talk about his reason for choosing this.
Absolutely. Again, it's a beautiful pleasure to meet the artist, the creator of this work. The thing that stood to me, this particular photograph just rose to the top for me. I actually also enjoyed your other photograph that's in this exhibition. It's a close-up of a gentleman, and I was teetering back and forth between which one I was going to choose out of those two. One thing about the photographer, it is the photographer's eye, the photographer's understanding of space, the photographer's understanding of light, and capture not only that right moment, the right balance, the right composition. I felt that this piece did all of that in terms of it has this really beautiful foreground kind of element that's thrusting forward, the diagonal lines of the sedimentary rock that's pushing back into the compositional space, the plumage, like cloud-like formations in the sky, but then also just that balance of lights and darks throughout, which is so beautifully and eloquently captured. And then just this light and dark play where you see this general sweeping of light here, it drops into a dark, it drops back to a light again. Just a beautiful sense of control and understanding and a mastery. And that's what just captured me. And of course, one thing about artwork, especially in terms of photography, it makes you want to go to that space. So thank you.
Well, thank you. That's great to hear. You're really perceptive. You may not know, but I've been going to Ireland for 20 years and photographing there. And that's the last piece I've made from my journey. So I'm very excited. And thank you very much, Steve.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you for your gift.
Thank you.
It is a gift. So thank you so much, Steve, for your comments. And Glenn, thank you. And congratulations on your amazing win for photography.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Amazing work. And I do have an amazing piece of Glenn's and actually several pieces of tonight's winners in my home. Thrilled to be able to celebrate the art of coastal Virginia. And now the award of distinction in printmaking or drawing goes to Dennis Winston. Hello, Dennis.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm well. Congratulations. Let's take a look at your work.
Thank you.
A tribute to Palmer Hayden, Fétiche et Fleurs.
Well, thank you.
Amazing, the printmaking. Congratulations. And let's we're gonna go to the Charles Taylor and bring up the work live and talk to Steve, our juror, as he tells us why he chose this.
First and foremost, so good to see you, Dennis. And it's been a long time, but this work stood out to me in this exhibition for a number of reasons. I mean, one of the first things captured me when I look at a work of art and I'm trying to evaluate it. Of course, I look at the work and just see how it moves me. But another element I look for too is just to see those things, elements compositionally, design-wise. But then the title captivated me too, because you talk about Palmer Hayden, an artist that was very prominent during the Harlem Renaissance and who was very well versed in a lot of different media and influenced a lot of different artists. And for you to pay homage to him in the creation of this work, I thought it was a beautiful tribute. But the other elements that really grabbed me was just the beautiful arrangement of textures from the floor cloth, the cloth that's below the fetish in the flower vase, the way in which the flowers are working in with the vertical lineage of the background, and then this other tapestry element that falls right back behind in terms of a repeat pattern. And then just a small little homage again to Palmer over in the background corner. And I thought that this piece just had a really wonderful balance in details, the textures, directions of forms. It's a very busy piece, but yet you're able to read each element because of the directional way and the handling and the cutting and the usage of lights and darks in the composition, which allows you to still see every element. So it's just a beautiful piece, and it's one that you really have to come here to the center and to engage. It's one that you have just as beautiful pleasure seeing it from a distance as you're also coming in close. So thank you so much, Dennis.
Well, thank you very much. I'm really honored. I know this show has phenomenal work in it. I'm always amazed at the quality of work that comes into this exhibition. And this piece was done, as you said, through a very troubling time. I was actually working on a commission that dealt with the slavery at the Wilton House, and also recognized that you had recently honored Palmer Hayden. And I decided that I wanted to do a piece, and I incorporated a Luba stool from the Virginia Museum and sort of took the idea of Harlem Renaissance Award and I sort of brought it up to a more contemporary time. And as you said before, I really wanted to recognize him for the fact that he was kind of lost in history a little bit, and we needed to recognize that. So that was a piece that was real close to my heart when I actually did it. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I'm honored to receive this award.
Absolutely.
Well, Dennis, we are honored to have you exhibiting your work at the Charles Taylor. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
All right. Amazing artists, amazing, one right after the other. So our next award, our award of distinction for watercolor, goes to Holland Etheridge. Hello, Holland.
Hi, Richard.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I love your work, Hampton Winter, which we are about to embark on.
This tree is very special to Charles Taylor because when I was teaching classes there, that is in the parking lot.
I didn't know this.
That tree is on the grounds of Charles Taylor.
That's amazing. Well, that makes it even more special to me and to the staff at the Visual Arts Center, I'm sure. So we're going to bring in Steve Prince, and he's going to talk about why he chose this.
Hello, Holland. It is a pleasure to see you in person, or so to speak. But this piece here, as I perused the galleries and checking out the different watercolors that were here, this one just kind of rose to the top for me. It rose to the top because I know how difficult this piece was to make, and difficult in terms of the level of skill level that is operating in this piece. To control a piece like this could easily get too muddy. and get lost. But she so beautifully captured not only the bark, but you can feel the peeling nature of the bark coming from the tree. And the other thing I just love too is that you still see remnants of the pencil marks, which also adds to the atmospheric effect of this piece. It gives it a great sense of depth. And of course, we got this close in cropped up view of the piece, but then just the layering of the branches that are falling back behind. And I just love this corner over here, that kind of fading form that pushes us to that space, but then it pulls us back because she's established a really nice dark area over on the left side. And it balances itself out so wonderfully. And it's just a beautiful, stark piece in the way in which you begin to envision the idea of winter. We think of cold, we think of leaflessness, but we also think of the white of snow. And just that starkness in the background also gives us that feeling of the coldness of the piece. But it's a piece that, again, the camera cannot show you the true detail of this piece. You literally have to come here. And it's one that's going to draw you all the way to the surface. And if you have bifocals, you're going to adjust them so you can see it a little bit more. So it is a beautiful piece.
Thank you very much, Steve. I've been following your work for decades. You showed in the Virginia Artist Fair at Charles Taylor magnificent prints, and I am very honored to be chosen by you because I respect you and your love of contrast as much as I do.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you so much for those words.
Thank you, Steve. And Holland, congratulations. We're so thrilled to not only have you as a winner of an award today, but to have you part of our intimate extended family. So thank you. And I look forward to seeing you very soon.
Thank you, Richard.
Congratulations, Holland. Her amazing work, which you can see. So our next award of distinction is for painting. And our award of distinction for painting goes to Karen Waller.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
I
goodness.
love that. I love that earnest response. Karen, we're so thrilled for you. Let's take a look at your work, Self-Portrait in a Dark Time. Unbelievably gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Thank
And
you.
I love it. And yes, indeed, it is a dark time, but we're getting through it. So let's take a look at our juror, and he'll talk about the reason he chose it.
Hello, Karen. Such a pleasure to see you.
And to see you, Steve. Thank you.
Indeed, indeed. This piece is another one that just grabbed me and captivated me as I walked through the gallery. I couldn't escape it, and it is almost like she took some of the language of like a Jackson Pollock, and but turned it on his head. And this portrait, just the way in which the color play and the flecks of color that basically plays back off of the figural form or the self-portrait formation inside this image. The way in which the hair just kind of billows and plays off of the same kind of very abstracted background that's working here. But then just to the next level, just the undulating cross-contoured marks and painterly strokes that build up the piece. Just so well balanced. I mean, this is a piece that really requires a person who has a deep understanding of design, of balance, of space, and to take this chaos and juxtapose it to this person in the midst of that, and where there's almost a stoic power that's here, and the gaze, in that it has that perpendicular kind of view where no matter where you go in the room, it feels like she's always looking at you. And so I just loved everything about this piece, and just that way in which it's forced down to the bottom, and then this larger field that's all around. It kind of really, in my heart, it spoke of the time right now in terms of what we're going through, and just trying to make it through the everyday. So it just had so many different levels, not only in terms of the artistic painting skills that are operating here, but also just the emotive quality about the piece that was so strong.
Steve, thank you. Your articulation of what you see in all of the work you've chosen has been a delight to listen to. This was a piece that I was caught in a vice when I worked on this. I was kind of at the end of a rope, and we were moving into pandemic about the same time. And I think you said earlier in talking about another piece, art is a way to make sense of the chaos. I was beyond words at this point, and to sit down and really look at myself and ask some deep questions about belief, where I was, how I could continue. The visual was the way through. It really anchored me back into something in the midst of chaos, and reminded me that I cannot live without expression in some kind of vein, even if it's cooking soup on the back of the stove. But there's something in this both to view and to work on that pulls one through. This piece actually pulled me through a rough patch. So I appreciate that it resonated for you, and hope it does for others too. Right. I'm honored to be part of the show.
Karen, thank you so much for your words. And thank you for illuminating this, the depth of it. And also thank you for your honesty. That's palpable. And if you were here, I would give you a hug. But
I love that.
so when I see you, I would
do it.
See in person, I'll make sure that I would deliver. But thank you for it. And I pray and encourage that you just continue to make and create, because your voice, your work is so needed. So keep on making.
Oh, thank you so much for that. That means a lot.
Thank you, Steve, for your comments. And Karen, wow, gorgeous. So thank you so much for your work, your artistry, and just being here. So thank you.
Thank you for the honor of being able to be here, Richard. It's a treat. It really is. It means a lot.
It means a lot to us. So thank you. It's really amazing when we hear people and artists like Karen and all of our winners and all of our entrants and our juror talk about the importance of art to our lives and to what we're going through. So it's very exciting. So onward, our award of distinction, the juror's choice. We have two. Our first award of distinction, the juror's choice, goes to Delna Dastur.
Well, what a surprise.
Hello, Delna. Welcome and congratulations.
Thank you. What a delight to be here.
Let's take a look at Delna's work, Celebrating. We love that title. We all should be celebrating.
Yes, it's time to celebrate, isn't it?
It is. It is. Now tell us, before we bring Steve on, are you French? Are you Belgian? Are you Spanish? Tell us a little bit about Delna Dastur.
Well, you're completely wrong. I'm not at all from Europe. I'm from India.
India, I love it. I've been there. I love it.
Yes. So I came here to the States a long time ago from Bombay, India, now known as Mumbai. And came here as a student, got a degree from Wellesley College in art history, but then got a graduate degree in painting from American University in Washington, D.C. So I live in Northern Virginia, outside of D.C., which is why I could compete in this Virginia show. I have to say,
welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really delighted to be here. I did not know about the Charles Taylor Center, and now to be part of it is really quite wonderful.
Well,
Thank
now you must come and visit us.
I'm already booked for next Saturday.
Good.
We are going to come down.
Let's welcome our juror, Steve Prince, to talk a bit about your work.
Hi, Steve.
Hello, how you doing, Delna? So good to see you.
This piece, one of the first things that captivated me when I read the title, Celebrating, you cannot help but see the celebration in this piece. And one thing I'm just lamenting as I'm looking at this piece on the screen is washing out the richness of the colors of this piece. And again, I keep saying the same thing over again. You have to come in and truly engage this work. But what stood out to me was this great big horizontal mark that comes across that delineates this kind of ground space and the small upper portion or the sky space inside here, the horizontal nature of this diptych. But then the thing that again, you can't see on the screen, but you can see in real life when you come to the Charles H. Taylor Center is the level of skill, the playfulness in terms of layering of textures, of colors, that very easily could get very muddy and lost in such a very deep and dense compositional space. The ways in which you can see there's a modeling paste added back into it. You can see the stamping into the surface. You can see the brush strokes. You can see where the paint was splattered to the surface. You can see where textures of repeat patterns added to the composition. The ways in which the colors tied together is like, this is the next level of Miro in terms of compositionally, in terms of what she was able to achieve with this piece. And you truly get a sense of that sense of celebration where there's even this kind of evocation of the nature environment. It almost has plant life inside of it. It has elements that almost alludes to the built environment. It's just a cacophony of different designs and patterns that just really captivates you, and you feel the sense of joy and the celebration in this image. So I'm just so grateful for this piece being here and Delna being a part of this exhibition and sharing her beautiful artistry with this community.
Well, Steve, you nailed it. You just expressed everything that went into this painting. It started on the floor. I'm always about experimenting. So it started on the floor. It's on Yupo, which doesn't absorb paint, which is why I was able to pour things on it and let it dry. And so then it became an adventure and finding my way through it. I always have texture, I always have printing, and you just saw through the whole underlying work that goes into making the final product. And it is also about celebrating nature. I have always been interested in talking about climate change, and it's sort of a battle between nature and man, who's always constructing things. And in this case, nature completely wins. There's no question about it. And it's celebrating its strength and durability, that through thick and thin, it is going to survive. And you have to do that with bright colors, right?
Absolutely.
I want to say one more thing. This is the first time that I have had anything to do with the Charles Taylor Center. I have to thank everybody who helped me. Jenny and Ellie and, and Jesse, everybody stepped in and made me feel very welcome. And thank you, Steve. It was such a pleasure to hear from you.
Oh, indeed, indeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Amazing. Delna, thank you so much. We're so proud and thrilled to have you part of our extended family.
As am I.
I look forward to seeing more of your work and you at the Charles Taylor.
You will.
Good. So our next award of distinction, our juror's choice, goes to James Warwick Jones. And we'll take a look at his work, Bookshop with African American Artists. James could not be with us tonight, but let's go to the Charles Taylor and talk to Steve about the reason he chose James' work.
Absolutely. I chose this work. I was teetering back and forth between the other work by Jones as well, in that I felt that they were both equally strong pieces that stood out. But this one rose to the top because not only of the artistry and the control of space, not only because of his control of painting and the consistency of the design and how it holds up, but I was also captivated in terms of the content level. And that he basically is also not only sharing with you the artistry, but he's also educating. And he's put on here a series of names of different artists. Some of them are contemporary, like right now, but many of them are of the past that are coming from the African American community. And I think, again, just in this moment, I thought it was a really appropriate piece to receive an award because of its content as well. That stood out for me in terms of this image, beyond its beautiful artistry. Now, another thing you need to see too is that he has a banjo lesson painting that's a miniature that's in here, that's spot on, by Henry Otana. And then to the left of it, he has another very small painting, I believe it's of Frederick Douglass, that's back in there. And he's got, I mean, just a level of skill in terms of, I can imagine him painting with a zero brush to put these marks inside of there. But you can see the layering and the glaze work that's embedded in the piece, the ways in which he rendered the bookshelf and captured the wood grain. Just a careful rendering and glazing and layering, but also this idea of showing of the African diaspora, even on the globe, it's just loaded with little nuggets all throughout the composition that I think it was just a joy to see. And again, it is a piece that pulls you in, and then you start reading the various names on the books. And then that, if you don't know those names, it really puts a charge upon you to look them up and to see why these names are on these books and why did they make such a strong impression upon history in our lives as artists.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Steve. I mean, we love Jim because he was our Visual Arts Center manager for several years. So we're thrilled that he won. And congratulations, Jim. So now we have our Virginia Artists 2021 exhibition second place award that goes to Mike Brewer. Well, I actually think that I jumped the gun. I jumped the gun. This is my fault. So we have our second place winner, Mike Brewer, Daydreaming. We jumped. So our second place winner, Jim is not with us. And congratulations to our second place winner. We jumped a little bit. So now we're going to go back to, sorry, there you go, Steve. Thank you for saving me.
It's all good. It's all good. It's a team effort. This piece by Mike Brewer, again, it's and I'm gonna sound a bit like a broken record about the idea of seeing these pieces in person, but again, it's so imperative. The delicate nature of this piece, the juxtaposition of that elements that are embedded within nature with the butterfly, which starts off as a repeat pattern as a ground on the background. But then he just takes it to the next level where these elements begin to lift from the wall and the butterflies begin to take flight as they cast shadows or cast upon the ground. But if you go back into the figure, you can literally see the luminous ways in which the color is working within the form, the layering of color, the glazing of color that builds out, and you can begin to see the biometric nature of the figure, the control of lights casting from the top, cascading across the bottom, creating the core of the shadow and the cast shadow and the reflective light upon the form. And then just this beautiful filigree work that is upon the table, the light, delicate brushwork accentuating where light is captured on the edges. One thing that you can really recognize a person's true understanding of the figures, the handling of the feet and handling of the hands. Those are two very difficult areas where a lot of artists have a lot of problem with, but you can see there's a really beautiful understanding of form and of structure and of the body form juxtaposed to these man-made elements. It is a stunning piece. So can't wait for you to see this piece in life.
Great. Well, that was our second place winner. And now we're going to go to our third place winner. And my director is going to bring up our next winner. Jim Haller. Hello.
Sorry, I didn't realize my mic was off.
No, that's okay. I didn't realize I had jumped. We have 3 Jims right in a row. So let's look at your work. Triptych, third place. Look at it. Congratulations, Jim Haller, for your
Thank you.
award. We're so thrilled. Let's bring in our... Hello, Steve.
Hello. Jim, it's such a pleasure to meet you. And
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this work. This piece here, absolutely stunning. And when I read the word triptych, of course, I was looking for the other 2 pieces on the wall. And then I quickly realized, no, he's not talking about that type of triptych. And I thought about just the layering of those words, a trip, and the idea of trip as it relates to, as we see a bottle of pills on the center of the table. But then juxtaposed to that is this look at the skull that's over to the right. That's really bathed in this really harsh light. But the other thing that's so stunning about this work is the artistry and stippling nature, the painstaking marks that are made to render this image. And then again, this background, which you can see is a way in which like a polish that has been dabbled and marked out, and you can see it's been washed out around the figure to create a little bit more contrast from it. But it's just a beautiful understanding of space, of form, of texture, but understanding of lights and darks. It is an absolutely stunning piece. You know, just those little nuggets in terms of seeing the eyes and the reflective nature of the light there. But then we go back to the content of the piece. And that was one of those criteria I was looking at in terms of the works, was thinking about how they're pushing these ideas. And I thought about just the mental health and what we're going on and how that has risen so much right now in this moment. And I think about this generation right now. It is so better in tune with being very open about mental health issues and these different things that are going on within inside of us, with the seeking and the searching for healing. And I believe it's found not only in our making, but I think it's found through community. So I'm so grateful for this work. It's honesty, it's straightforwardness, it's in our face. It pushes us, it urges us to look not only at ourselves and what is going on within, but it helps us to look out and to see our neighbors.
Thank you. That was a much better description than the one I gave. I should have had you write my artist statement for me.
Indeed.
You know, what's strange with the situation right now and COVID and the pandemic and everything is my work probably for the last maybe 10 or 12 years has involved health issues, because I deal with Crohn's disease and have to take treatment and see doctors and get tests all the time. And to see over the last like maybe year and a half that I got a lot of people that respond to my work more and can see like they relate to it more now because of things that people are dealing with right now. So although it doesn't necessarily have to do with COVID, it's a little bit more personal to my health issues. It's nice to see that people are kind of relating to it and there's a little bit of common ground between their experience and mine.
Yeah, well, Jim, I mean, the beautiful thing about art is that yes, it's very personal, and every artwork that we make, we have a personal connection to it. But also, I think that what makes this piece so powerful is the universality of it, and that it can speak not only to you and other people may be experiencing the same thing, but it also speaks to all these different issues in which you're confronting and how do we confront them. And that's the thing I think is so powerful about this work that stood out to me. And I'm so grateful that you shared the deeper story to this. And I believe that story also draws us closer together as people.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I was just glad to have it on display. So thank you.
Indeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Jim, thank you so much. Amazing
Thanks.
work. And congratulations.
Thank you.
So Jim Holler was our third place winner. And we're going to just go back one and look at our second place winner, which is Mike Brewer, Daydreaming. Now, Mike Brewer is not able to join us today. He's out of the country, but we want to just acknowledge that I inverted second and third place. So we're excited to congratulate him for his third place and second place win. So our first place award winner goes to Mary Ruff. Oh, congratulations, Mary.
Thank you, Richard. What a surprise.
Let's take a look at your work. Pattern and light. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now let's welcome Steve Prince back to talk about your work and his reason for choosing it.
Hello, Mary. So good to see you.
Hi, Steve.
Hello. This piece it's a gem. It truly is a gem. And what I mean by that is it's a rather small piece, but do not let the size fool you nor take away the power and the absolute brilliance of this piece. When I first saw it, it reminded me of a Jan van Eyck painting, Arnold Feeney and His Bride. That was the thing that captivated me. But I was like, she took it to another level. She flipped it. She twisted. She pulled those figures out and she added a window to it. I kind of had a feeling of wanting to see the little slippers sitting underneath the bed or the clock in the background. But she gives us even deeper gems because you begin to look at the curtain work and the leaf pattern that's outside the window. And then this highlight that sits upon the rail of the bed that's over here. And then on top of that, even more textures that are rendered here that follow the contours of the curtain inside the space. The rendering of the wood, but also the soft undulating tones that are seated in the background. Just some absolute mastery of control of those lights and those darks within the composition. It is absolute gem of a piece. And it just drew, it captivated me, it grabbed me. And so that is why it won the award. All I did is just called out what's obvious.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Indeed. Thank you.
That piece is from Bedchamber in Bacon's Castle in Surrey. I was visiting and the light was coming through that window. I love the way light falls on objects, and I love textures, and I love detail.
Indeed. Thank you so much for phenomenal work.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mary. We're so thrilled. Congratulations. So many artists, so many amazing pieces of art. It's really overwhelming. So we have an amazing cadre of artists, but The Virginia Artists 2021 exhibition has a Best in Show award. And the Best in Show award comes with a $1,000 cash award and a solo exhibition in the 2022 Virginia Artists Exhibition. It's an exciting award and one that we look forward to each year. So this year, the Virginia Artists Exhibition Best in Show award goes to Jonathan Ash.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I did not expect that at all.
I love hearing all your fans in the background. Congratulations, Jonathan.
Thank you. Oh wow.
Newman. Is that correct? Newman?
Yes, Newman, yes.
Newman.
Yes.
So congratulations. We're so thrilled for you. Let's bring Steve Prince in.
Sorry.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's wonderful. We love that. Let's bring Steve Prince in to talk about this.
Let us not apologize for joy. So, I celebrate with you, and I just want to let you know that it was very hard for me to choose your pieces. This piece is the top one because I could have chosen any one of the three that was in the show. It is an absolute phenomenal smorgasbord of imagery, of design, of meaning, of layering. Is a piece that you literally have to sit with for hours. And I passed by your piece. I sat with it several times as I walked through the halls before I chose the top piece. And your piece just literally just rose to the top almost immediately. It was almost in the top of it was definitely in the top of my list when I saw it online when I judged the show. But then when I came here, it grabbed me. And I think about that word Newman, this idea of a spirit or a spiritual power. I think is very apropos inside this image because it seems like an amalgamation of so many different things like Orisha. It feels like it's coming directly from Egyptian hieroglyphics. It has the stained glass windows of your great churches. It has these multiple narratives that are working inside the piece as you see the two archetypal characters of the woman bearing the spear fully inside of a power pose, gloves upon her hands and the textures upon the body, light and dark layering of tones inside the piece. It is absolutely stunning work. That just stood out. It is an absolute feast for the eyes, but also for one to begin to see it and to try their best to decipher its meaning and so forth. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. I still can't believe I won with everybody. Everybody's work was so strong, and I was like, "There's no way I'm going to be in this." But yeah, like that piece for me was, at a time where I was really trying to like kind of think about what I wanted to do next, and like kind of pulling the power from what I felt was like, a spiritual connection you can feel when you're making your art, and kind of like the things we pull from. And I kind of just, when I draw, I kind of just go at it and I don't really think about it a lot. And as I start to see characters and things like that, I pull it out. And I still can't believe I won. This is crazy. But yeah, everything you said about it, kind of like battling our inner demons. I usually like to try to have two, different forces in my work. Because I think we all battle with our own demons. So that for me, Newman was kind of like the hero of the story as far as like taking power over your own demons and, moving forward in your life, which I think we all do every day. So this is crazy. Thank you so much. This is such an honor. I can't believe that I won. This is crazy.
Indeed. No, thank you. Thank you for that, for giving us a deeper bite into the piece and a deeper understanding of what impact it had upon you as the artist, as a creator within your studio space. I can't wait to see your one-man show and to see other works that you have that are in your collection, so we can get a little deeper bite into to your voice. You have a lot to say, and it is a really beautiful and fresh voice that you have as an artist. And I'm just so delighted to have the opportunity to witness it, to give it an award as part of this competition. And so I know, I hear your humility in terms of, you know, being the quote unquote top winner and so forth. And virtually, I mean, we're talking about all these works that are in the show are winners. And even the ones that didn't make it in the show. And that's one of the things I try to make in the statement. My artist statement is to say to the artist that you got to make because this is what we were called to do. And it's not based upon what is in the gallery walls or what is in the museum walls. It is what's inside of you. And that's what we got to create from. And so, I'm grateful, thankful to be a fellow traveler, a fellow artist with you and to create. And I'm so grateful for your voice and what you had to share with people. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve. I have to say I'm very emotional. Steve, between your work and your family, it's
it was big. This is a really great honor for me, and thank you guys so much for the recognition. And everybody else's work too was so beautiful as well.
Yes. Well, we love that. So congratulations and thank you so much. And I'll stop crying now. So thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so now I just have to get to my, I have to work on getting to my script. So anyway, that was very emotional. And what an exciting, amazing portrait. Oh my, of the art that we have in Hampton and coastal Virginia. So this wraps up our 2021 Virginia Artists Virtual Awards Ceremony. We're thrilled to congratulate all of our awards and all of our award winner artists. This amazing, brilliantly creative exhibition. So let's take a look at the virtual awards that we have tonight. And thank you to all of our award winners and our honorable mentions and our amazing staff at the Visual Arts Center. So thank you for joining us, and remember to take some time for yourself in this coming week, this coming month. Stretch your imagination, practice creativity, share in the local art scene, and come visit us at the Visual Arts Center. But most importantly, stay safe and sound in the heart of Hampton.